On this episode, I spoiler free review a movie based on a Greek myth where a Greek woman had an affair with a Greek prince and runs away to the Greek city of Troy. This Greek woman was so beautiful, her Greek face launched 1,000 ships owned by her Greek husband and his Greek brother to get her back. Now the Greek city of Troy needs to defend itself against them and the Greek demigod Achilles. The movie I speak of is Troy, starring Brad Pitt as Achilles. The fact that this myth comes from Greece and not Ethiopia may be Greek to Christopher Nolan, but not here on Movies Merica Live.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to this latest episode of Movies Merica Live. And it is a retro review episode of Movies Merica Live. And as always, I am your humble host, Van Ebert, aka Movies Merica. And I really want to welcome my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics and my movie maniacs out there. Okay, you guys are a special breed. You are those people that watch a movie and then you don't just move on with your life for the most part. You watch a movie and then you want to discuss it. Okay, well, when you watch a good movie or a profound movie or an interesting movie, okay, I should clarify right there. If the movie is crap, okay, if you just got done watching Biodome or Son-in-Law, yeah, you're probably not going to want to discuss it because those movies are crap. But if you're watching a good movie, an interesting movie, then yeah, you want to keep discussing that. And usually when you try to discuss it continually with your wife, your husband, your friends, they're like, oh my God, will you please shut up, man? It's just a movie. But not here on Movies Merica Live. This is your place. This is your home, your outlet to come in and talk, in depth, all about the movie for today. And of course, again, the movie today is the 2004 Brad Pitt movie, Troy. There, I was like trying to remember there for a second what movie we're talking about here today. Okay, but anyway, that being said, real quick here, because this show is live, that does open up the capability of the live chat. Okay, so the live chat's available on both Rumble and YouTube. So I invite you to get in the live chat, and yeah, I mean, just hey, let me know you're here. Hey, I want to hear from you in the live chat. Doesn't necessarily have to be about Troy. If you want to just simply give me a thumbs up or put a poop emoji in the live chat on Rumble or YouTube, please, by all means, go ahead and do that. And it costs you nothing to do that. So, and in order to do that, all you gotta do is click on like the chat or live chat button, which is down there somewhere there, to get into that said live chat. There you go. Okay. But enough about that here, and let's move on here with the show here, because we're going to get into some Troy. All right, and just to let you know, this movie was directed by Wolfgang Petersen. And if that director's name sounds at all familiar, it's because he directed well-known movies like Air Force One, In the Line of Fire with Clint Eastwood, The Never-Ending Story, did The Perfect Storm with Clooney and Wahlberg, Das Boot, or The Boat. Das Boot is the boat in German. He did that there, and then of course he did this movie Troy. Okay, and now the thing is, when I'm referring to the movie Troy, I'm referring to the director's cut of the movie Troy. Okay, That's the version I'm recommending that you watch. Okay, and I guess I'm just giving up, giving up. The crucial piece of information right from the jump there. I am recommending you watch Troy if you, by some miracle, haven't seen it. I know this movie came out like 22 years ago, but there's a chance that somebody hasn't seen the movie out there. But yeah, but if you're gonna watch it, watch the director's cut of it, the 3 hours and 16-minute director's cut. Okay, now don't be alarmed. Okay, don't be intimidated by that run, that run time right there. There's nothing wrong with pausing the movie and taking a little potty break, okay, or taking a break to go run to Burger King and grab a Whopper. That's totally cool. Okay, you don't have to watch it in a theater. But I think you'll find that 3 hours and 16 minutes goes by very fast because, yes, there are some slow, talky scenes in this movie, but there's also a lot of action. All right, a lot of visceral action in there. So yeah, watch that 3 hour and 16-minute director's cut instead of the 2 hour and 43-minute theatrical cut there. Because if you ever hear somebody say, "Oh, that Troy movie's not that good. I don't like it," they're talking about the theatrical version, the 2 hour and 43-minute version right there, where that doesn't have the character development and the extended scenes and the extra action that the 3 hours and 16 minutes director's cut has right there. So do not pass go. Go directly to the director's cut of Troy. And then, of course, like I mentioned before previously, it stars Brad Pitt. You might have heard of that guy. I mean, he was just like in this movie recently, F1. He's going to be in an upcoming Cliff Booth movie, and he's got this Heart of the Beast movie coming out here pretty soon. So yeah, Brad Pitt. Everybody's known him. He's been a movie star for decades now. Also stars Eric Bana as Hector. He's Prince Hector of Troy. Got Orlando Bloom as Prince Paris of Troy. Peter O'Toole plays King Priam of Troy. You got Brendan Gleeson. He's one of those highly recognizable character actors, that guy. Okay, yeah, he's been in so many movies. Brendan Gleeson's in this as Menelaus. I got Brian Cox. A lot of people know him, from Succession, the TV show on HBO. He plays Agamemnon. He's been in a whole bunch of movies that you've seen as well. Brian Cox, that is. Got Diane Kruger playing Helen of Troy. She's a total smoke show. She still is to this day. Also, you've got who is it? Oh, Rose Byrne. Rose Byrne plays Briseis, and again, we're talking about these actors that you've seen since Troy came out in a bunch of movies, and then in a bunch of movies before that, right there. So, a great cast of characters. Sean Bean is in this. Ned Stark. Sean Bean is in this movie there as well. So just a fantastic cast. I mean, you just look at the cast list on IMDb, or the movie poster, and you're like, oh my God, who isn't in this movie? Oh my God. So just amazing there. Now the plot of this movie. So if you've read the Iliad, if you've read the Odyssey, then you kind of somewhat know the plot of this movie. But just a real quick rundown of the plot. So you got the city of Troy, and then you've got these Greek kingdoms, okay, not Ethiopian kingdoms, Greek kingdoms, not African kingdoms, Greek kingdoms, okay. And you'll kind of get the gist as we go through the show why I'm putting extra emphasis on Greek as opposed to African there, okay. So so we've got Greek kingdoms like Sparta and then Greece itself, okay, there. And Sparta, it has just made peace with the city of Troy, okay? And Sparta is ruled by King Menelaus, played by Brendan Gleeson. And then Prince Hector and Prince Paris are there in Sparta, to sign the peace agreement or whatever, or toast to peace or whatever they're doing, right? So having a good time, partying it up, wine, women, and song, right? That kind of thing. And then old Prince Paris proceeds to just hose the whole peace thing up by having an affair with Helen of Sparta, later to be dubbed Helen of Troy, okay? And so Helen of Troy, or Helen of Sparta at this point, she steals away with Prince Paris and Prince Hector, unknowingly to Prince Hector, and steals away and runs to Troy, okay, because she wants to be with Paris there. And Helen of Troy is the face that launched 1,000 ships, okay, meaning she's so hot, she's so beautiful, she's so captivating, so luminescent that her beauty launched 1,000 ships there. So, and Diane Kruger basically meets that level of attractiveness here. Lupita Nyong'o, not so much, but anyway, that's a whole nother movie there that will be coming out here soon. But anyway, so then they get to Troy. Menelaus is, of course, ticked off. Hey, you took my wife. Okay, then he runs to his brother Agamemnon, again played by Brian Cox. He said, brother, join me in war. We're going to go to Troy. We're going to get my wife back so I can kill her. And then this big Spartan, Greek, Trojan war breaks out. Okay, and Brad Pitt's Achilles is contracted. He's kind of like a warrior for hire. And Agamemnon and Menelaus, contract him. They're like, hey, will you fight for us when we take on Troy? And that's as much into the plot that I'm going to go. I don't want to spoil too much or anything like that. But just to give you some visual aids here, instead of you having to, depend on, me going over the plot, hey, visual aids, always better, right? So let's check out the trailer. Why don't we?
I've fought many wars in my time. Some are fought for land, some for power, some for glory. I suppose fighting for love makes more sense than all the rest. Do you love her?
Father, you are a great king because you love all of Troy. That is the way I love Helen.
I want her back. Will you go to war with me, brother?
They're coming for me. The wind is bringing them closer.
This will be the greatest war the world has ever seen. We need the greatest warrior.
Achilles can't be controlled.
Be careful, King of Kings. First, you need the victory.
I won't ask you to fight my war. You already have. The loser will burn before nightfall.
Immortality! Take it! It's yours!
No son of Troy will ever submit to a foreign ruler.
Then every son of Troy shall die.
Now you know who you're fighting.
Is there no one else? Is there no one else?
Oh yeah! All right, yeah, that should definitely get your interest peaked right there. If you haven't seen Troy already, there, but yeah, I just love these historical epics like this, even the ones that are based off of mythology or just outright made up on the spot, kind of like Gladiator, right? Gladiator was just a story that was just written up here. Just on the spot. It wasn't like based on a book or a poem or anything like that, like Troy is, or anything like that. So, but yeah, I mean, again, like I said, Troy is definitely worth watching if you watch the director's cut. That is right there. So, just want to make sure I specify that it's got to be the director's cut, everybody. And you can find the director's cut here. I mean, I think it's you can get a hard copy, but let me see if it's anywhere like streaming. I would think it is, because I've got it on hard copy, and then I also have let's do this here. Yeah, let me do that. I've got a hard copy, and then I bought it on my Xbox at the Apple Store there. And I got the director's cut there. So where is the Troy director's cut available to watch? Let's see here. What did we got? All right, let's check this out here. AI mode. Yeah, help me out, AI. There you go. Director's cut. Okay, so it looks like on Apple TV you can buy it for $15. Google Play, movies and TV, $15. Fandango at home. In Vudu, you can buy it there. Right there. So yeah, so you got it. You can get it at various places right there, which I would most definitely do. But I personally, I'm a big hard copy. I'm a big physical media guy, so I bought it on physical media right there. But anyway, let's move on. We're going to talk some more Troy. Alrighty then, and let's go back to 2004 when this movie was released. Was made a little earlier than this, but in 2004, man, swords and sandals epics were hot again after the Oscar-winning success of Gladiator. Now, in 2004 alone, Oliver Stone released Alexander with Colin Farrell and an Antoine Fuqua. You might recognize that name. He directed Training Day. He gave us King Arthur. And then, of course, Wolfgang Petersen offered this movie, Troy. Now, Alexander the Great was legendarily victorious in real life, but at the box office, he got a historically epic woodshed beating. And then King Arthur and his round table got roundly pummeled when it came to movie grosses, okay? But, however, Troy, the movie we're talking about today, it made back its money and then some. And it was one of the three that most resembled Gladiator, and it might have helped that it featured some actors from Gladiator and another big historical hit, Braveheart, with Brendan Gleeson, James Cosmo, John Shrapnel, and then Brian Cox. And of course, Troy, it also starred the most famous, the most established star in Brad Pitt. I mean, no disrespect to Colin Farrell or Clive Owen, but they're not as popular or as well known as Brad Pitt there, okay? Now, Achilles, let's go to Achilles here. Achilles is one of Brad Pitt's most famous roles. But weirdly enough, he did not want to be in this movie because he didn't like the script. It wasn't what he was expecting the script to be. However, though, he was under contract to do a movie for Warner Brothers, and he was supposed to star in Darren Aronofsky's The Fountain for Warner Brothers, but he pulled out of that, and then Hugh Jackman ended up starring in The Fountain there. Now, Brad Pitt, he still had that contractual obligation, so then he did Troy instead. And I'll give it to Pitt. I think he showed he's a true professional because I personally can't tell from his performance that he did not want to be there. I thought he killed it as Achilles, okay? Pardon the pun. Now, the fight choreographers, as far as fighting and the battling and all that stuff that they had for Troy, I mean, it created such badass moves for Pitt. And then, for the character of Hector as well, played by Eric Bana, their fights, their one-on-one fight, kind of in the middle of the movie there is still legendary. It's still well spoken of as one of the best fights that you'll see on screen anywhere. And then Pitt expertly plays the greatest warrior who also has no time for King Agamemnon, again, played by Brian Cox, who essentially contracts him to fight for him in his cause, in his war against Troy. And Brad Pitt's Achilles is a no-nonsense warrior who craves battle and glory and loves his fellow fighters. They're called the Myrmidons. And also, he loves his cousin Patroclus, who's like a little brother to him, as you'll get that idea as you watch this movie here. And if you're ever feeling lethargic and melancholy and essentially unmotivated, and who doesn't from time to time, just watch this scene with Pitt from Troy that I'm about to play, and you'll want to eat nails and chug gasoline and kick wholesale ass at retail prices. So yeah, let's check out this video right there. Yeah, it'll motivate you.
Myrmidons, my brothers of the sword. I'd rather fight beside you than any army of thousands. Let no man forget how menacing we are. We are lions! Do you know what's there? Waiting, beyond that beach. Immortality! Take it! It's yours!
Ooh, yeah! Are you not motivated? Are you not motivated? Or to quote, Russell Crowe and Gladiator, are you not entertained? Okay, that is a badass pregame speech right there. Or in this case, a pre-battle speech right there. So I just love that. So just makes you want to run through a wall, that's for sure. So, but anyway, let's move on. But we will continue with more Troy talk here. But first, we got to move on to this. And this would be when I very briefly, just ask you to click on the old like button right on down there. There's the old like button, and clicking on that costs you absolutely no money whatsoever. Costs you nothing. It barely costs you any time. Costs like 0.03 seconds to click on it. And then also another couple of buttons I would definitely appreciate it if you would click on, if you are so inclined, is the subscribe or follow button and the notification bell button, and those are also right on down there. So now, if you've already clicked on them at some point in time, don't click on them again, please, okay? Because you'll unsubscribe or unfollow, okay? And then, real quickly, as I wrap up this segment, I just want to talk to my viewers here of the show that didn't have a chance to watch it live. You guys are just watching the recording of it right now, and to you, first off, thank you for watching. It means a lot. And second of all, don't worry. I mean, if you have something to say to me, and it could be something that's not exactly friendly, okay? It could be something like, man, your show sucks, and man, you should just give this up right now, or it's kind of mediocre. Here's some tips I think you could do here, Van, to make your show better. Or if you just want to rain praise down on me, hey, by all means, you could do that. Now, you're not going to be able to do that via the live chat, obviously, because you're not watching the show live, but there is this thing called the comments section, okay? And the comments section is right on down there via the old comments button. And so you might have to, there's like a button with like 3 dots, like an ellipsis right there. And you might have to click on that to get to the comment section as well. But I want to hear from you, okay? Good, bad, indifferent, love, hate, death threats, whatever, okay? I want to hear it all. And I do read the comments, okay? And, I'll read them all. I don't, tread or shiver in fear that there might be a less than positive comment down there. I do read those, so I'd love to hear from you. Just like I would love to hear from the people that are watching live right now in the live chat. That'd be fantastic. And again, you guys can get to the live chat via the live chat button, or I think it's called live chat, or chat is the button. It's right on down there. So on YouTube or Rumble, yeah, get in the live chat if you would. It's very easy. If you're in the live chat right now, if you're watching, yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Just give me a thumbs up. All right, that's not that hard, right? Everybody watching right now, go ahead and hit that chat or live chat button right there if you would. Okay, I appreciate that, and just give me a thumbs up. That's it. There you go. Very simple. Or an American flag or something like that. There you go. That would be great. All right. But all right, enough about all that. Time for more Troy. All right, real quick here, let me get a drag off my drag. I'm not smoking a cigarette. Let me get a drink off my brewski here. Excellent. There we go. All right. Appreciate you guys putting up with the dead air there. Hey, if you guys are drinking up, hey, go ahead and drink up here during this show here. This show is supposed to be a show where you can relax, chill, unwind while you are watching this show. So, yeah, kick your feet up and, grab your beverage, whatever, and relax as we talk about some more Troy right here. And I love the historical epics of the 90s and 2000s, all right? Like Braveheart and Gladiator, and then, of course, today's movie Troy and Kingdom of Heaven. They're so different than the historical epics of the early era of Hollywood, and that they're allowed to portray these periods in history in a more realistic and visceral way. These movies have their brutal moments, which give the emotional and physical stakes more weight. When you see the more realistic, brutal bloodiness of battle portrayed on the screen, and then the premise is laid out that if you want something to happen in a plot, war has to be waged, okay? And it's more foreboding because you've seen the horrors of war, okay? It's not glossed over and sanitized for audience protection, like what was done in like the 1940s and 50s and 60s in historical epics there. Now, Troy, the director's cut, especially over the theatrical cut, it pulls no punches in showing the extreme brutality and ugliness of war, especially in the scenes inside the city walls of Troy. In those scenes, it's not just soldier versus soldier cutting each other down. It's women and children thrown into the mix of bloody warfare. Now, for me, it hits harder because of the attempts by the characters Hector, Paris, and King Priam of Troy to avoid these horrors of war within their walls, only for all three to ultimately fail. Now, regarding Hector, some say he's really the only character who is easy to root for in this movie. I mean, like Eric Bana, and you might know Eric Bana. Like, if in case you guys don't know who Eric Bana is when I'm talking about him, if you guys have seen Black Hawk Down, he plays a character of Hoot. Okay, in that where he plays like the badass like Delta Force soldier in that movie right there, and it's kind of a smaller part of it, but he's the baddest ass of badass warriors in Black Hawk Down. And then he went on to play Hulk in the Ang Lee movie Hulk. What else was he in? He played like what's her face? Leslie. He was in the movie Funny People with Adam Sandler. And Leslie Mann, that's her name, Leslie Mann. He was in the movie Funny People with Adam Sandler and Seth Rogen. And he played Leslie Mann's husband in that movie. What else has he been in here? So just been a number of movies, but look up Eric Bana there. But I digest here. But Eric Bana plays him with like such admirable resolve and portrays him with goodness and as a fearsome warrior, but also a loving husband and a father to a newborn baby, their first. And then also he's a loving son and, to his father, King Priam, and he's a loving brother to Paris. Now, Orlando Bloom's Paris, on the contrast to Hector, it's hard to root for him, okay, because his affair with Helen starts the whole war in which thousands of innocent Trojans and Greeks die, okay? And also, he isn't near the fighter his older brother Hector is, and you see that in a scene with Paris and Menelaus, okay? And again, Menelaus is Helen's husband, okay? And then we have Peter O'Toole as King Priam, okay? And Peter O'Toole, quite frankly, he sort of phoned in his performance. This is no Lawrence of Arabia level performance from Peter O'Toole whatsoever, okay? And it's said that Peter O'Toole hated this movie and actually even walked out of the premiere, okay? So I'd say that's a sign of a guy who's no fan of this movie whatsoever, okay? Not state the obvious. Now, regarding some of the other supporting characters, Brian Cox and Brendan Gleeson are especially good at playing the loathsome, slimy villains, and and they're so slimy, so despicable. You just love to hate them. And then, like I kind of mentioned a little bit before, you also get Sean Bean playing this movie's version of Odysseus, who Matt Damon will be playing Odysseus in Nolan's The Odyssey coming up here very soon. And then Sean Bean is good as the king of Ithaca. So Odysseus is the king of Ithaca is where I'm going with that. And Troy came out actually 7 years before Sean Bean would be in his biggest limelight ever when he played Ned Stark in Game of Thrones. Okay, interestingly enough, just a little useless trivia. The sole writer of Troy, and of course, this, he was writing based on Homer's poem, but the sole writer of Troy, David Benioff, was one of the two creators of Game of Thrones. Okay, so you get a little Game of Thrones Troy connection there in Sean Bean being in both of those projects right there. Okay, so but yeah, just a little inside in-depth information about Troy here. And again, the reason that I picked Troy this week may be apparent any of you here, depending on when you're watching this episode. Now, if you're watching it live, you might be like, "Oh, he's talking about Troy, this movie based on Homer's Greek mythology." Oh, I bet he's doing this show because the Odyssey, another movie based on Greek mythology and from another Homer poem, the Odyssey in this case, obviously, is coming out this weekend. Okay, so I get what Van is thinking. All right, he's doing this whole Greek mythology thing. Okay, so he's going to do Troy this week, and then the Odyssey next week. And you know what? You would be correct, the mundo, everybody. There you go. That's the method to my madness right there. Okay. All right. Let's move on with this Troy episode of Movies Merica Live. All right. And let's do this here real quick because this brew over here, this beer that I got sitting over here, man, it's giving me the old side eye. All right. It's looking at me going, Van, I'm not sitting over here for my health. All right. You're not supposed to just open me up and just sit me down and not do anything with me. You gotta drink me. You gotta chug me. All right. And so you know what? I know how to follow orders. And so to that end, it's time for a little brew review time. All right. So let me introduce you to today's brew. And this is Powder Run from Living the Dream Brewing. And this comes to us from Colorado there. Yeah, you can see right there. Got the Colorado flag there. So comes to us from Colorado. And yeah, this is a vanilla cream ale. Okay. Now, to any of you out there that basically the only beer you drink is like the ubiquitous, available everywhere, mass-produced stuff like Bud Light, Coors Light, Modelo, that kind of thing. When I say vanilla cream ale, that might make you gag, okay? You might start dry heaving, okay, with that right there. But I invite you, you know what? Live a little, okay? Be a little adventurous and, try something other than, that mass-produced swill right there, which does have its place. It does have its place. You go to your neighborhood barbecue or somebody's backyard barbecue, or you climb into somebody's bass boat and the cooler has nothing but, Coors Light in it. Well, and yeah, I mean, you're not going to turn down, a kind gesture like someone offering you some Coors Light or Modelo or whatever, right? Hey, some say the best beer is the free beer, right? So, and I kind of agree to that to a point. But, but if you're, ever bored by that, do you want to live a little, you want to be a little bit more adventurous, you want to kind of just be a little bit more spontaneous and that kind of thing, then yeah, try a beer like this Powder Run here, this vanilla cream ale. Okay, it's not going to hurt you, it's not going to bite you. Okay, it's going to be okay. You can try something more than just that mass-produced swill. And as you might guess, I am recommending this Powder Run vanilla cream ale right here, okay? And this is technically a light-bodied cream ale here. It comes to us at a alcohol by volume of 5%, all right? And it's comes in at a ranking of 10 on the IBU scale. That stands for International Bitterness Units, okay? So all that to say is it's not very bitter whatsoever, okay? Not at all, okay? And as far as how it tastes, isn't that the most important thing, right? Well, how it tastes is it's got light and fluffy notes of vanilla with a very subtle sweetness. And I stress the word subtle with this, okay? It's not overpowering. You're not drinking vanilla-flavored pancake syrup or anything like that, where maybe your imagination might go once you hear that this is a vanilla cream ale, okay? Now, it's brewed with flaked corn, I should say, and a touch of lactose, and of course, vanilla, okay? Giving it its vanilla flavor right there, okay? And now where to find it? Well, if you're in Colorado, it's probably going to be very easy to find it. Probably going to go to your local grocery store, or whatever, your booze barn or whatever. You'll be able to find it there. So, but if you don't live anywhere near Colorado, then you're probably going to have to go someplace like gopuff.com, a website that specializes in getting beer that's brewed nowhere near you into your hands. So let's say you live in Walla Walla, Washington, or you live in Bangkok, Thailand. Last time I checked, none of those locations are anywhere near the Rocky Mountain State. Okay. So yeah, you can go to like someplace like gopuff.com and have them deliver this beer to you. And it's going to cost you some scratch, okay? But they will get it in your hands, that's for sure. All right. So let me get a drink off of this thing because, yeah, I'm like really craving, a little bit of this cream ale right here, the vanilla cream ale here. It's so good. So here we go. There you go. So, and like I said, it's made in Colorado, so I could picture people, they're up on the slopes of Breckenridge or Aspen, and they're chilling out, at the ski lodge, and they're just downing some of this powder run right here. So I could definitely see that right there. I'm gonna set that down. So yeah, be perfect right there. You're just coming into the ski lodge after taking in the slopes there in Colorado, skiing, snowboarding, whatever. And yeah, you need to cool down, man. You're exhausted. So you just get in the ski lodge, chill out on the couch, and down yourself some powder run right there. There you go. Now, one thing I like to discuss also during the brew review time is what kind of foods pair well with the beer that I'm talking about here. Okay. And so with that in mind, some foods that this beer actually goes well with is a spicy barbecue, like smoked pulled pork or brisket. Fish tacos would go good with this. Spicy Thai noodles. All right, you can wash some spicy Thai noodles down with this powder run vanilla cream ale here, and of course, since it's on the sweeter side, excuse me, of brews here, but not too sweet. Again, like I said, it's subtle in its sweetness, but since it does have some sweetness to it, it goes good with like different desserts. Okay, so like fruit tarts, carrot cake. It goes good with like some nutty cheeses. Okay, like mild Colby, some aged Gouda, some Monterey Jack, that kind of thing right there. So you've got a few options there as far as foods that you can wash down with that Living the Dream powder run vanilla cream ale right there. So, but I don't know if I've convinced you to grab some vanilla cream ale right there, but maybe I've done my job and have convinced you to do that. But yeah, I mean, like I already said here, yeah, just stretch your beer legs and try something a little bit more adventurous. Get a craft brew like this. I don't think you'll be disappointed whatsoever. Okay, but with that here, let's wrap up this brew review time. All right, real quick here. I just want to double check something here. See if I can rustle up something here. So I'm just going to try to do some multitasking here. Let's do it. Get that on in here. There we go. All right, get it here and do that. Appreciate you guys bearing with me while I try to multitask over here. Okay, every once in a while, it does work. That's for sure. Okay, gotcha. So, all right, what should we do next here? What should we move on to next? We just did brew review time, and I want to keep everything in order. There you go. Because I try to run a well-oiled machine here at Movies Merica Incorporated. Try to, but don't always. I don't always accomplish that, but there you go. We'll try to make this work here. But what I should do here? Actually, what I should do is let me see this thing here that I need to show you here because I don't want to deprive you of seeing this here. And I think you're going to be thankful that I did show you this. And what I'm referring to here is the Movies Merica merch store here, okay? Because why just watch Movies Merica when you can wear Movies Merica. Okay, so we've got all this Movies Merica merch down here. We've got this starting off with this big mugs style logo camo trucker hat here. And just real quick, just to let you know, there is no purple on this hat here. So let me go in here. There's no purple. I know. I agree. It would look better with the purple, but unfortunately, the company that makes that, unfortunately, purple is beyond them. Okay, so maybe someday, they'll bring in somebody good enough to where they could get the purple on the hat, but not right now. Not yet. I still think it looks okay without the purple on there, but anyway. So just want to be completely honest with you guys right there. I do not want to lie to you about anything on here. And then, of course, we have T-shirts with the big mugs style Movies Merica logo here as well. But, just different T-shirts. We got the men's T-shirt, the women's T-shirt here. We got different style there of that logo there with that T-shirt here. Got tank tops there. All right. So, and if you want the wife beater version of that, of course, it comes in white. All right. So there you got your white Movies Merica tank top right there. And I could just picture like the pepperoni stain right there. There you go. It's good to wear that. And the cops show up and you're on the latest episode of Cops right there, and you're running from the cops, and you're hiding underneath the kiddie pool. There you go. We got the baseball long sleeve shirt. We got a hoodie. Got a windbreaker here. It's got the sports bra there for all you ladies that can pull that off. Okay. Got some Movies Merica Big Mugs logo hats here of different stripes. That's for sure. And again, you can get all these different colors here available to you with the different items. You can just go in there and click on different colors there. There you go. Just so have fun with that. Just pick whatever color out that you want for these items. Now we're moving on to the Hollyweird version of the Movies Merica logo here with the camera and the beer mugs there. So we've got T-shirts and various things with the Hollyweird version of the Movies Merica logo there as well. And then we're moving on down to my personal favorite style of Movies Merica logo, the Black Adam style of Movies Merica logo there. And so, we got various different types of T-shirts. Got the men's T-shirt, women's T-shirt here as well. Got this T-shirt there, tank tops, the baseball long sleeve shirt there as well. Now, you might say, hey, Van, I've got all your clothes. I've got all the movie gear. I'm good to go in that regard. I've got it all hanging up on my closet already. But what I need is I get thirsty. All right, I get thirsty, and I need something sophisticated to drink my preferred beverages out of. So, my brother, do you happen to have some Movies Merica drinkware? And to you, I say, hello, friend. Get ready to be happy because yes, we indeed have Movies Merica drinkware. And as you see right there, we got the coffee cup right there. We got the mug. We got the can-shaped glass. We got this pint glass here as well. Okay. I got these koozies here of different styles. We got the kind of more traditional koozie that y'all have seen. But then we also got to have the stainless steel koozie there to keep your beverages ice cold or fiery hot, depending on the situation. And then, of course, and last but not least, if you want to class up your workstation here, we do have the different style or the different Movies Merica desk mats here as well. We got this bigger one, this 15.5-inch by 31.5-inch desk mat right there, and the smaller one right there as well. Okay, so lots of variety with the different types of Movies Merica merch right there. Okay, and hey, if you're feeling maybe particularly generous, okay, if you're in a gift giving mood, hey, by all means, give the gift of Movies Merica. Okay, and because there be some Movies Merica fans out there, watchers of the show, that would appreciate the gift of Movies Merica. There you go. And hey, nothing says I love you, Grandma, like a Movies Merica coffee mug for her to drink her toasty hot chocolate with the little mini marshmallows right on in there, and the different colored little mini marshmallows that that your Grammy loves to drink right there. And hey, you never know. Maybe she might put you back in her will, or maybe you're in her will already, and she's going to increase your percentage. All because you were a good grandson or granddaughter and you got her a nice Movies Merica coffee mug to drink her little hot chocolate out of. There you go. So you could do yourself a favor right there with giving the gift of Movies Merica merch. All right, so there you go. But yeah, let's we're gonna stop sharing that and move on there. I think of real quick. I've made it easy for you to get to that website, the Movies Merica merch website. It's just down in the description, right on down there. Right on down there. Easy for you to get to. Okay, so just wanted to remember to tell you all of that. There you go. All right, let's move on with the show. All right, let me double check something real quick here, and I'm going to do this. I just got to get to something here. Get out of there, and all right, get that going on. Get that over here. All right. And so there you go. I got important things to do here because I got to run this show the right way. And so there you go. All right, let's get it here. Whoops. Nice. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's I'm doing a true professional job here. I could totally tell. Yeah, there you go. I'm sure you're all admiring me right now. Like, oh man, this guy's so good. Absolutely. But let's talk some more Troy here. And by that I mean I have some random thoughts about the movie Troy. And my first random thought is Wolfgang Petersen, the director of Troy, was lucky enough to get legendary film composer James Horner, who had won an Oscar for his Titanic soundtrack 7 years before Troy, to score this movie. Now, originally, French composer Gabriel Yard, I think it's pronounced Yard. Gabriel Yard was originally hired to write the music for Troy. However, those old pesky test audiences just found his music to be old-fashioned, and Wolfgang Petersen ultimately rejected his music. So in comes James Horner, who also did the music for movies like the first Avatar movie, Braveheart, Apollo 13, among others. He even did the music for Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger. So you know that makes him legit right there, okay? And James Horner, went on to do a fantastic job on Troy as well. Tragically, though, James Horner died far too soon in a one-man airplane crash in 2015. Okay, so and on that morose note, let me move on to my second random thought about Troy. And Troy was actually supposed to film in Morocco. However, this little thing called the war in Iraq started, and the Troy production had to disassemble and move its massive sets, including the sets of the massive walls of Troy, from Morocco all the way to Mexico. Pardon me. I'm on the struggle bus right now because I was trying to stifle a beer burp right there. So anyway, but once Troy got to Mexico, or the production for Troy got to Mexico, things did not get easier because then their sets were damaged by two hurricanes. And it appeared that the gods were also in agreement with Brad Pitt in their dislike for this movie. And here, let me share something right here. I just want to share this and show you this video here that has a little bit more background about the struggles of the Troy production that I'm talking about right here.
At the time, the budget would swell to more than $200 million due to several unplanned production delays and disruptions. The 8-month filming schedule entailed a massive logistical undertaking that spanned multiple continents. For example, the city of Troy was constructed at Fort Ricasoli on the island of Malta in the Mediterranean, a location also used for Gladiator, and additional scenes were filmed on the cliffs of Molina, located in the north of Malta, and the small island of Camino, situated between Malta and Gazo. The exterior walls of Troy were manufactured thousands of miles away in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. In addition to filming in real locations in Malta and Mexico, and plans to shoot in Morocco, filming also took place in various movie studios and backlots in England, including Ealing Studios in London and Shepperton Studios in Surrey. In addition to multiple locations around the world, the humongous production consisted of roughly 1,300 background extras, at least 300 of which were transported from Bulgaria to film scenes in Mexico. Another major hurdle that production had to overcome involved the escalation of the US-Iraq War in 2003. Several scenes for Troy were initially slated to be filmed in Morocco. However, when tensions began to increase with the Middle East, Warner Bros. Decided to move the production from Morocco to Mexico in February 2003 to avoid al-Qaeda terrorist threats. Transporting the sets, props, and extras from North Africa to North America was a logistical nightmare that delayed the schedule even longer and ended up increasing the cost of the movie considerably. If the emergency relocation wasn't bad enough, the 1,300 extras sent to Mexico had to undergo a 3-week training period in 100-degree heat, causing many of them to faint from the harsh conditions. According to Bydawin.org, the Bulgarian extras on the set of Troy were treated even more inhumanely. Here's one extra's account. We kept trying to get a break, to get some water or find shade, but there was no shade. So we were simply sitting there, killing scorpions and all sorts of nasty centipedes. The horses were in the shade, but we weren't. They had tents. We didn't. We covered ourselves with the shields and fell asleep. Once the Bulgarian extras realized they were earning $12 per day compared to the Mexican extras' wage of $40 per day, both less than the horses were paid, mind you, a 3-week strike took place which further delayed production. Filming only commenced after the Bulgarian extras were given a pay raise of $10 per day. Meanwhile, Pitt earned a hefty $17.5 million for starring as Achilles in the film. One of the costliest crises that took place while filming Troy occurred in Baja, California. The Category 2 Hurricane Marty hit and caused flooding and major damage in Baja before moving to mainland Mexico in the fall of 2003. By all accounts, Hurricane Marty destroyed the set of Troy, constructed in Cabo, which halted the production and delayed filming for several weeks. In addition to the set being wiped out by the hurricane force winds and rain, Brad Pitt's personal residence was also left in ruins. Pitt was reportedly so exhausted by the filming process that he woke up at 4 a.m. to find his home torn apart by Hurricane Marty and simply just went back to sleep. The storm also toppled a house accommodating roughly 1,000 extras. If that wasn't upsetting enough, in late September 2003, shortly after Hurricane Marty reached landfall and damaged the constructed sets, 6 security guards on Troy were arrested by the local police for stealing a 4-wheel Honda ATV, a chainsaw, and an air compressor used by the production. The arrested guards claimed that they had not been paid for their services since Hurricane Marty ravaged the set, and they took the items as compensation. Believe it or not, a second hurricane hit the movie set in Mexico, but it came during the final week of production and didn't affect much since the movie and the footage were already captured. Of course, it's impossible to talk about Troy without mentioning the intense, big-scale battle scenes that take.
So, yeah, that's enough about that right there. So, but, yeah, so you get the idea that, of just the struggles, just the struggle bus that Troy was on there. But obviously, in spite of the attempts of those devious deities, those gods, Troy trudged on and was released in the U.S. on May 14th, 2004. Okay, so it was no easy feat to get that movie made right there. But there's another reason to check out the movie to reward their hard work, and then the fact that they had to go through all that crap. By watching the movie. And again, I know probably maybe a number of you have already seen the movie. Again, the movie's 22 years old. But I bet you probably haven't seen the director's cut. You've probably seen the theatrical cut. And some of you might have been left a little wanting. You felt that the movie lacked something right there from watching the theatrical cut. But definitely watch the director's cut. I bet you that you're going to like the director's cut better. And again, it's on a number of streaming services for you to purchase. Looks like it was like $15 from what I saw when I looked earlier right there. Okay, so alrighty then. We got to keep on with the show. What do you say? Real quick here, if you allow me here, just want to let you know that this is not the only show that I do each week, this Sunday show that you're watching right now. I also do a show on Thursday night called Movies Merica Spoiler Warning. And what I do with that show is I talk about the same movie that I talk about today. And obviously, I'm talking about Troy today. So on this Thursday night, I will be talking about Troy, but with spoilers, okay? Because as you may have guessed, I'm trying to avoid spoilers on today's show, in spite of the movie being 22 years old, okay? Just in case there are some people that haven't seen Troy, and I bet there's probably a lot of people that haven't seen the director's cut of Troy, which is the Troy version I'm recommending that you watch right there. So Thursday night, I will be talking about Troy, the director's cut, and that comes on at 7 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, and 4 p.m. Pacific on this Thursday night, talking all about the director's cut of Troy. Okay. And you can join me at that time, and jump in the live chat and talk Troy, the director's cut, and go crazy, go nuts. All right. You know what? It's your show too. And I don't want to just be, on this show, just sitting here talking and yapping, because that's no fun. Come on. I want this show to be interactive, and you can make this show interactive by getting in the live chat via the old live chat button or chat button right on down there. And you can do that right now too. On the very show that you're watching, Movies Merica Live about Troy, just click on that live chat or chat button right on down there. And at least give me a thumbs up or a poop emoji, or say hi, or Troy sucks, or Troy rules, or whatever. There you go. Or you might just put in there, hey, who dresses you, Van? What the hell? And hey, Unfolding Joker's got the right idea. There on the Rumble side of the live chat right there. He is toasting, and I toast you too, good sir, Unfolder, in a live chat, and I drink to that. Excellent. So, and hey, Unfolding Joker, just out of curiosity, what are you drinking, man? Let me know. I'm intrigued. Okay. But again, I just wanted to let you guys know about the Thursday show that I do here as well. Okay, and the links to watch that show usually come out like on Thursday morning. So yeah, go ahead and you can watch the show with those links, and then feel free to spread the links to the show far and wide to anybody that even remotely suspects is into movies, including this show you're watching right now. Go ahead and spread send the link to this Troy episode of Movies Merica Live to anybody that you even suspects likes movies there as well. There you go. The power is in your hands right there. There you go. Get it done. All right, let's move on. And right now, I'm going to move on to the segment that is the favorite segment for some people of all my episodes here. And that is Is This Movie a Woke After School Special? All right. And thank the gods, Troy is not woke, okay? And this is still 4 years, and when I say this, I mean Troy being released, is still 4 years before Obama came into office and began his well-designed plan to pit American against American, in part with woke ideology. As a result, Hollywood hadn't yet started with systemically incorporating woke as much as it could into its movies as tributes to the altar of woke, in honor also to their beloved Obama. Now, I might be singing a whole different tune during this woke after school segment for my next movie. I'll be reviewing Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, from what I hear. Okay, I haven't seen the movie yet, so I'm not going to prejudge. Okay, I'm going to go see The Odyssey this weekend here this is the first weekend, or next weekend is the first weekend it's coming out there. But as Hollywood was supposedly phasing out wokeness from its movies lately, those old woke jokes keep desperately trying a few last death gasps for survival with movies like last year's One Battle After Another, and then The Bride from earlier this year here. And so it sounds like The Odyssey might be yet another, last death gasp from the woke jokes, from the woke Borg, in an attempt to somehow survive, as woke has pretty much been circling the drain here lately. But I will never believe that woke is completely dead. Just given the lack of intelligence, attributed to a lot of people in Hollywood. They just really don't brush up on their political knowledge. They just quote talking points from their PR people and all of that stuff right there. So because of that, I think woke will always be simmering under the surface right there. But thankfully, Troy was released, before all of that went down, before all of this came into being. And so Troy is out there. It just wants to entertain you. It doesn't want to lecture you, doesn't want to preach at you like what happens during a woke after school special. And that's the difference between a woke after school special and an entertaining movie worth your time. Is a woke after school special, like One Battle After Another and The Bride and possibly the Odyssey, wants to lecture you and look down their nose at you, where a movie like Troy is like, hey, we know that you're spending your hard-earned money on this movie. We want to give you some entertainment for your hard-earned dollar. There you go. So, but anyway, that has been the Is This Movie a Woke After School Special? All right. And as we get ready to wrap up this episode of Movies Merica Live, here, a Troy episode of Movies Merica Live, I just want to thank everybody for checking out this episode. Okay, so either the ones that are watching live, I know my man Unfolding Joker is watching live here, and anybody else watching the live. Okay, now I would encourage you if we could get more people in the live chats there, because I know people watch the show, they're doing stuff and that kind of thing. But that's why I always say, hey, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly enough for me. If you get in a live chat, you just give a thumbs up, put an emoji in there, a poop emoji, just say hello, hi, yo, Adrian, whatever you want to put. No, I don't expect people to get in a live chat and quote the Gettysburg Address or anything like that. But people have lives and whatnot. But if you get in a live chat, it just helps me out. It helps you out as well. Because that's the perk of doing a live show like Movies Merica Live. There you go. Unfolding Joker, there you go. You speaketh the trutheth. I hear that. Get on up in this live chat. There you go. It costs you absolutely nothing, okay? When you get in a live chat, have no fear. It doesn't subscribe you to something or anything like that. That's for sure right there. And Unfolding Joker's 7 years ago, harnessing his inner Abraham Lincoln. I love it. I dig it. There you go. And there you go. Nice. He's going Charles Dickens now. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Oh, Captain. There you go. And now oh, Captain. What is that? Is that Joyce? Is that James Joyce? I can't remember that. I know it's from the movie Dead Poet Society, but it's like I think it's I can't remember what the story or poem is from Joyce, but I don't know. What do I know? I'm an uncivilized, uncultured, ugly American. There you go. I have no culture in my bones. There you go. None whatsoever. So I dig it right there. So Unfolding Joker showing us his literary side on this episode. But again, yes, thanks for watching, especially to my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics out there. Okay, so and again, you know what? Troy, check it out. The director's cut. That's the my final thoughts as far as Troy in this episode is go watch Troy, but not the theatrical cut. Watch the director's cut. And like I was saying earlier, it looks like it's on the Apple Store for $15. It's on the Google Play Store for $15. It's on Fandango and Vudu for $15 there. So, and you're getting a lot of bang for your movie buck, because the director's cut is 3 hours and 16 minutes long. There you go. So you might need some potty breaks in there. All right. There you go. But fire up some good grub, some good food, and some good, some good brew or whatever you're drinking. And, just watch some Troy, the director's cut. Have a great time. Have fun with it, and recommend it to your friends. There you go. But again, this Thursday night, I'll be talking about Troy again in my Movies Merica spoiler warning show. Again, that comes on this Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, and 4 p.m. Pacific time this Thursday night. More Troy talk. There you go. All right. So, all right. Again, thanks everybody for watching, especially the ones in the live chat, like Unfolding Joker there. And as I always say, get out there, people. Those movies, including Troy the director's cut, ain't gonna watch themselves. See ya. Howdy, my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. Would you do me a favor and check me out at solo.to/Movies Merica? That's where you would go for a one-stop shop for all the links that have to do with me, Movies Merica. And then also, if you want to check out the audio-only podcast versions of my Movies Merica live episodes, that's my spoiler-free reviews that I do on Sunday, you can go to moviesmerica.com or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, places like that. And then, actually, if you would also check me out on the social media sites like X and Instagram and Facebook and Gab. And I'm on those locations all under @Movies Merica. So it is very easy to find me out there, all right? So get to it, everybody. All right, thanks for watching. Later. Hey guys, don't leave the video quite yet. Okay, I've got the popo. They're coming after me, and I don't have much time to tell you, but you need to like and subscribe this video right here, down below. It's right down there. It's just waiting. It's waiting for you down there, okay? And make sure you watch these videos over here too. You'll be doing me a big favor. I'm gonna be in handcuffs pretty soon. All right, thanks for watching.